The champagne tower at the birthday banquet glittered under the lights. I, Isabella, stood beside my husband, William, wearing a custom Chanel gown and a perfect smile. Today was my 26th birthday, and also our 3rd wedding anniversary. Isabella, you look truly beautiful today, William murmured in my ear. I turned to look at him, warmth surging in my heart. 3 years. I thought our relationship was solid as a rock. Mr. William, Miss Isabella, happy birthday. Guests came forward one after another to offer congratulations. I linked my arm through William's, feeling the warmth of his palm. In that moment, I felt like the happiest woman in the world, until Daisy appeared. She wore a long white dress, looking like an angel who had wandered into the mortal world. Isabella, happy birthday. Daisy walked towards me, her face wearing a gentle smile that I knew well. She was my best friend, having grown up with me since childhood. Daisy, you came. I released William's hand and stepped forward to hug her. William's gaze, however, remained fixed on Daisy. I noticed, but chose to ignore it. It was normal for a best friend to be pretty, and normal for a man to glance at her. I told myself this. Halfway through the party, William suddenly stood up. Everyone, besides celebrating Isabella's birthday today, I have an important announcement to make. His voice carried throughout the venue via the microphone. I looked at him in confusion. What important announcement? He hadn't told me anything beforehand. I'd like to introduce someone to you all. William extended his hand, and Daisy, to my shock, walked over. My heart skipped a beat. This is Daisy, my fiancée. The entire hall fell instantly silent. I felt my blood run cold. Fiancé, but weren't we already married? William, what kind of joke is this? I forced a smile and walked towards the stage. William looked at me, without a hint of guilt in his eyes. Isabella, let's get a divorce. His words struck like a lightning bolt. The guests below began to whisper amongst themselves. My face instantly lost all color. What did you say? Daisy is the one I love. Always has been. My marriage to you was only out of necessity for a family alliance. Every word William spoke was like a knife. I looked at Daisy. She kept her head down, avoiding my gaze. Daisy, tell me this isn't true. My voice was trembling. Daisy finally looked up, tears welling in her eyes. I'm sorry, Isabella. We truly love each other. I took a step back. My most trusted husband, my closest friend, they had teamed up to deliver a fatal blow. Isabella, you should wish us well, William said coldly. I looked at the faces below, watching the spectacle, feeling their looks of pity and mockery. This was supposed to be my birthday party, but it had become their engagement announcement. My hands clenched into fists, nails digging into my palms. The pain kept me lucid. Fine. I forced a smile. I wish you both well. With that, I turned and walked away. Behind me, I heard applause and congratulations. No one followed me out. Not a single soul. I drove away from the hotel, my vision blurred by tears. At a traffic light, I pulled over and cried into the steering wheel. 3 years of marriage, all just a carefully planned deception. And I, like a clown, had been performing on stage until the very last moment. My phone rang. It was a text from Daisy. Isabella, I'm sorry, we really do love each other. You'll understand, right? I deleted the text and turned off the phone. Understand? Why should I understand? I returned home to the vast, empty villa. This was the honeymoon gift William bought for me, our love nest. Now, it seemed, it was merely a prop to keep me placated. I kicked off my heels and walked barefoot on the cold marble floor. It hurt, but not as much as the ache in my heart. I remembered our wedding 3 years ago. William was gentle and attentive, showering me with care. It was all an act. And I, foolishly, believed it. Our wedding photo stood on the entryway console. In the picture, I was smiling so brightly. Like an idiot, I picked up the frame and violently smashed it on the floor. Glass fragments scattered, and the photo was torn, just like my heart, shattered into pieces. I went into the bedroom and saw the wedding ring on the bedside table. William had personally placed it on my finger. Isabella, I will love you for a lifetime. That was his promise then. A lifetime. He couldn't even make it 3 years. I took the ring off and threw it in the trash. William's clothes still hung in the walk-in closet. I tore them down one by one and threw them on the floor. My phone rang again. This time, it was William. I answered the call. Are you home? His voice was still so smooth. Yes, back in our love nest. I scoffed. Isabella, don't be willful. Let's part amicably and not make a scene. Willful. I don't even have the right to be angry when I discover my husband is cheating. William, when did our marriage start to sour? A few seconds of silence on the line. Maybe there was never any sincerity from the start. His words pierced my chest like a sharp sword. Then how did you maintain such a perfect facade for 3 years? Isabella, you should know that merchants are best at performance. I laughed, tears streaming down my face. I was the fool. Tomorrow, I'll have my lawyer contact you. Let's process the divorce quickly. What about property division? I asked. I will give you a reasonable compensation. Reasonable. To compensate for 3 years of emotional deceit with money. I don't need it. Isabella, am not so dependent that I need charity from an ex-husband. I hung up the phone. The rain started outside. Raindrops tapped against the floor-to-ceiling windows, mirroring the pounding in my heart. I sat on the sofa, hugging my knees like an injured child. Why Daisy? We grew up together. She knew all my secrets. I considered her one of the most important people in my life. Yet, she betrayed me, and in such a way. At my birthday party, in front of everyone, she wanted to completely strip me of my dignity. I thought of our past. When we were little, I shared my best snacks with her. As we grew older, I gave her the clothes I thought were beautiful, the boys she liked. I would always step aside for. And the result, she stole my husband. I was too kind to the point of foolishness. From today on, I had to change. Isabella, would no longer be anyone's stepping stone. I woke up the next day, realizing I had slept on the sofa. My neck was stiff, and my head was pounding. My phone showed over a dozen missed calls from acquaintances. The news from last night had clearly spread. I didn't return any calls, turning the phone off instead. Right now, I didn't want to face anyone's sympathy or schadenfreude. After washing up, I changed into a black suit. I had things to handle at the company today. The Chin Group was my father's life's work and my sanctuary. On the way, many thoughts raced through my mind. The humiliation last night had sobered me completely. I couldn't be the naive Isabella anymore. Since William wanted a divorce, I would grant it, but I wouldn't let them off easily. At the company, employees looked at me strangely. Clearly, they had also heard about last night. I walked expressionlessly to the CEO's office. My assistant, Jane, knocked and entered. Ms. Chen, a lawyer is asking to see you. Send him in. A middle-aged man in a sharp suit entered. Ms. Chen, I am William's legal representative. Mr. Williams, speak. What are his terms? I leaned back in my chair, appearing composed. Mr. William hopes for an amicable separation and is willing to offer you $50 million in compensation. $50 million. William was indeed generous. However, there is one condition. Mr. Williams continued. What condition? You cannot disclose the true duration of their relationship to the outside world, nor can you take any retaliatory action. I sneered. He was afraid of retaliation. What if I don't agree? Then we will have to proceed through court. However, I believe Ms. Chen is a smart woman. Mr. Williams' threat was obvious. William wanted to seal my lips and have me quietly disappear. Dream on. I need time to consider. We hope for your swift reply. After Mr. Williams left, I called my father. Dad, have you heard? I have. Isabella, are you all right? My father's voice was full of concern. I'm fine, Dad. I need to ask you something. Go ahead. Was the partnership agreement between the Chen Group and the William Group tied to my marriage? Silence on the other end. Yes, my father finally admitted. Meaning, if William and I divorce, the Chen Group will suffer significant losses. There will be some impact, but it won't cripple us. Isabella, don't compromise yourself for the sake of the company. I understand, Dad. I hung up and fell into deep thought. So that was it. No wonder William was in such a hurry to divorce. He wanted to cut ties with the Chen Group. I decided I wouldn't let him have his way. I picked up a contract on the table and studied it carefully. If he wanted to play, we'd play big. In the afternoon, I met a few friends for tea. They were all socialites from the wealthy circles. Isabella, how are you? We heard about last night. Emily asked with concern. I'm great, couldn't be better. I replied with a smile. William, that jerk, how could he do such a thing? Exactly. Announcing his engagement to another woman at your birthday party is utterly outrageous. My friends were furious. But I heard that Daisy is your best friend. Sophia asked curiously. Yes, we grew up together. I said casually. Oh my God, that is cold. Isabella, what are you planning to do? What else? Get a divorce. My composure surprised them. Aren't you sad? Is sadness helpful? Instead of wasting time grieving, I'd rather figure out how to make them pay. My words stunned everyone present. The old Isabella was gentle and kind, never one for conflict. The current me seemed different. Isabella, what are you going to do? Emily asked worriedly. Nothing much. I just don't want them to get off cheap. I stood up. I have to go. You ladies enjoy your chat. Leaving the tea house, I drove directly to a specific place. It was the most famous private detective agency in the city. I needed to find out when exactly William and Daisy started their relationship. 3 years of marriage. I demanded the truth. The private detective agency was located in an office building downtown. The environment was much more professional than I expected. I was greeted by a woman in her 40s named Ms. Chen. Ms. Chen, I understand your situation. What would you like us to investigate? Ms. Chen's tone was professional. I want to know the true duration of their relationship. And concrete evidence. That's no problem. But regarding the fees, money is not an issue. I only want results. I signed the contract readily and paid the retainer. How long will it take? About a week. We will provide you with a detailed report. Leaving the agency, I felt much lighter. Some things must come to light. Returning home, I found William had already come back. He was packing his things. You came back to get your stuff? I asked from the doorway. Yeah, just some necessities, he said without looking up. William, I have one question for you. What? When did you two start? His movements paused slightly. Does it matter? It matters a lot to me. William turned to look at me. Isabella, let the past be the past. I have a right to know. Do you really want to know? Yes. William was silent for a moment. A year ago, that was shortly after our second wedding anniversary. I remembered we went to the Maldives for vacation. William was wonderful to me then, saying he loved me every day. He had already been cheating on me then. Why Daisy? Maybe it was fate. Fate. What a high-sounding excuse. Then what am I? Isabella, you're a good woman. You deserve better. I laughed, tears welling up. William, do you know, that is the most hypocritical thing I have ever heard. If I deserved better, why did you deceive me? Why didn't you tell me the truth from the beginning? William remained silent. It's because the Chen group still had value for you, isn't it? His eyes darted away. You're overthinking. Am I? Then why are you rushing the divorce now? Is it because your partnership is stable, and you no longer need me as a stepping stone? William's expression turned ugly. Isabella, you've changed. Yes, I have changed. Betrayal by the person you love most changes everyone. I walked up to him. William, do you think I'll meekly sign the divorce papers and disappear with your charity? What do you want? I haven't decided yet, but you had better pray I am a generous person. With that, I turned and walked upstairs. I heard the sound of William leaving behind me. The moment the front door closed, he was completely gone from this house. I sat on the edge of the bed and picked up my phone. Daisy had sent many messages. They were all explanations and apologies. I didn't reply. I blocked her immediately. If she chose betrayal, she had to face the consequences. That night, I had a dream. I dreamed of when we first met. William was handsome and cheerful then, falling for me at first sight. We met in college, had our first date in a coffee shop. He said I was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. I said he was my Prince Charming. What a wonderful start. Too bad it was all fake. When I woke up, my pillow was soaked. That was the last time I would cry for that relationship. Starting tomorrow, I would be a brand new Isabella. A week later, Ms. Chen called me. Ms. Chen, the information you requested has been compiled. I'm coming over right now. At the detective agency, Ms. Chen handed me a thick file envelope. Inside are photos, audio recordings, and a timeline analysis. I opened the file, and the contents shocked me. The first photo was taken 2 years ago. William and Daisy were holding hands in a cafe. That was only 1 year after we were married. They lied. I murmured, pardon. They said they started a year ago. It was actually 2 years ago. Ms. Chen nodded. According to our investigation, their relationship likely began 6 months after your wedding. 6 months. I remembered that period. William was always working late, saying company business was hectic. He was meeting his mistress. I continued flipping through the photos. They had gone to many places. The cinema, restaurants, hotels. One photo was taken on our wedding anniversary. I remembered William saying he had to work late that day and couldn't have dinner with me. In the picture, he and Daisy were toasting each other in a high-end restaurant. Celebrating what? Celebrating successfully deceiving me. There are also audio recordings. Ms. Chen reminded me. I put on the headphones. Inside was a conversation between William and Daisy. William, aren't we being cruel to Isabella? It was Daisy's voice. Daisy, we truly love each other. Isabella will eventually understand. William replied, but she trusts us so much. Precisely because she trusts us, we've been able to maintain this. When the time is right, I'll reveal everything to her. When is the right time? When the partnership between the Chen group and the William group is fully stable, I took off the headphones, my hands shaking. They planned this so meticulously, using my trust to maintain a harmonious facade. Then, once they had drained my utility, they would kick me out. Ms. Chen, are you alright? Ms. Chen asked with concern. I'm fine. I took a deep breath, calming myself. Is this evidence enough? More than enough if you decide to go to court. Good, thank you. I gathered the file and prepared to leave. Ms. Chen, there is one thing I feel I should mention. Go ahead. Based on our investigation, a significant portion of Mr. Williams' assets has been transferred. If you intend to divorce, it would be best to act quickly. Transferring assets. William truly planned every step of the way. Transferred where? Many assets were purchased in Ms. Dais's name, including properties and stocks. My fists clenched. They didn't just betray me, they wanted me to walk away with nothing. Dream on. Leaving the detective agency, I went directly to a law firm. I needed the best lawyer. I was introduced to the city's most renowned marriage law specialist, Mr. Thompson. Ms. Chen, I understand your situation. Based on the evidence you provided, we have a very strong chance of winning. I don't just want a divorce, I want them to pay the price. What do you want? I want to reclaim everything that belongs to me, including the assets he transferred. Mr. Thompson nodded. That is possible. However, are you certain? This lawsuit could become very ugly. I'm not afraid. Then we will begin preparations immediately. After signing the retainer agreement, I felt an unprecedented sense of relief. Finally, I could fight back. Back home, I called my father. Dad, I've made my decision. What is it? I'm going to sue William. Regardless of the impact on the Chen group, I will seek justice. There was a moment of silence on the line. Good. Your father supports you. Really, a Chen daughter cannot be bullied like this. You go ahead. I will handle the consequences. My father's support brought tears to my eyes. Thank you, Dad. Silly child. You deserve this. The next day, Mr. Thompson filed the lawsuit against William's lawyer. The news spread quickly. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. All kinds of media reporters wanted to interview me. I refused them all. Now was not the time to show my face. At noon, William came to find me personally. Isabella, have you lost your mind? He questioned me angrily the moment he walked in. I am perfectly lucid, I said calmly. What you're doing is not beneficial to anyone. It benefits me. What do you want? Money. I can increase the offer. William assumed I was just holding out for more money. I don't want money. Then what do you want? I want the truth. I threw the investigation report at him. Look at the despicable things you've done. William flipped through the photos, his face growing darker and darker. You hired someone to track us. If you were acting openly and honestly, why would you fear being tracked? Isabella, you've gone too far, too far. I stood up, looking him straight in the eyes. William, tell me, who went too far? Was it you, who betrayed the marriage? Or me, who sought the truth? Was it you, who transferred assets? Or me, who protected my rights? Was it you, who deceived my feelings? Or me, who exposed the lie? William was speechless, unable to refute me. Where did you get these photos? That's not important. What is important is that they are all real. What do you want? Simple. Return what belongs to me. What belongs to you? All the assets you transferred during the marriage. William's face changed dramatically. What nonsense are you talking about? Is Dais's name on the property deeds nonsense? Are the stocks purchased in her name nonsense? And that $2 million check, is that nonsense too? With every sentence, William's face grew paler. You investigated very thoroughly. I am simply reclaiming what is mine. That money was earned by me. Income earned during a marriage is communal property. Surely, Mr. William, you're aware of that legal principle. William glared at me, grinding his teeth. Isabella, you've become someone I don't recognize. The feeling is mutual. Let's negotiate a deal. What deal? I'll return the transferred assets to you, and you drop the lawsuit. I shook my head. Too late. What do you mean? William, do you truly think I care about that money? Then what do you want? I want to see your reputations ruined. My words shocked William. You're crazy. Yes, I am crazy. Driven crazy by you both. Isabella, what benefit is there for you in doing this? It makes me feel satisfied. That's the benefit. William looked at me as if I were a stranger. You weren't like this before. The old me was too kind, so I was bullied by you. The current me has learned to protect myself. You will regret this. My only regret is not seeing who you really were sooner. If I had seen your true nature earlier, I wouldn't have wasted 3 years. William's face was livid with rage. Fine, Isabella, You want to play? Well, play until the end. I'll be waiting. William slammed the door shut as he left. I sat on the sofa, feeling an unprecedented sense of liberation. The old me always sacrificed myself, afraid of confrontation. Now I understood. Sometimes, not fighting back is enabling. William wanted to leave with dignity and live happily with his mistress. Dream on. Since he showed no kindness, he couldn't expect any from me. In the following days, the entire city was buzzing about our situation. The drama of the wealthy elite, the love triangle, the property dispute. The media loved this kind of material. I still refused all interviews, maintaining silence. Daisy, however, was different. She granted several interviews to the media. In them, she portrayed herself as the innocent victim. William and I truly love each other. We didn't harm anyone. Isabella is my best friend, and I hope she can understand us. Love can't be forced. I believe she will ultimately wish us well. I watched Daisy's pitiful expression on television and sneered. Her acting skills were definitely improving, but this was good. The more visible she was, the more likely she was to make mistakes. Mr. Thompson called me. Ms. Chen, the opposing counsel wants to settle out of court. What are the terms? They will return all transferred assets, plus an additional $5 million in compensation. Reject it. Are you sure? That figure is already quite substantial. Mr. Thompson, I told you, I don't want the money. Understood. Hanging up, I felt somewhat weary. The fighting over this period had drained a lot of my energy, but for the sake of my dignity, it was worth it. In the evening, Emily came to see me. Isabella, how are you holding up? I'm fine. The rumors are everywhere. Aren't you worried? Worried about what? Worried about the damage to your reputation. I smiled. Emily, is reputation more important, or dignity? Dignity, of course. Exactly. I'd rather bear the name of a shrew than be a silent punching bag. Emily looked at me, a complex emotion in her eyes. Isabella, you really have changed a lot. Have I? The old you was gentle and kind. The current me is what? The current you is very aggressive, almost frightening. I was silent for a moment. Emily, if one day, the person you trust most betrays you, what would you do? Emily thought about it. I would probably be very hurt. Just hurt. What else can I do? Fight back. Make them pay the price. But won't that exhaust you? Yes, but it's better than living in misery. Emily didn't speak again. Perhaps she couldn't understand my choice, but I had no regrets. In life, one must have boundaries. If those boundaries are crossed, what is the point of living? That night, I received an unexpected text message. The sender was Daisy. Isabella, let's talk. I thought about it and replied with an address. Tomorrow afternoon at 3, the cafe. It was time to face her. Some words needed to be said. Some scores needed to be settled. The next afternoon, I arrived at the cafe on time. Daisy was already waiting for me. She still had that fragile look, but in my eyes, she was no longer the innocent girl. Isabella, she greeted me first. Sit down. My tone was flat. What do you want to say? Daisy bit her lip, tears welling in her eyes. Isabella, can we go back to how things were? How things were? I sneered. Which how things were? The way things were before you betrayed me. Or the way things were before you seduced my husband. I didn't seduce him. Daisy quickly protested. He pursued me actively. Then why didn't you reject him? Daisy, do you know, if you had fallen in love with anyone else, I would have wished you well, but you chose my husband. We truly love each other. Truly. I laughed, almost crying again. Is 2 years of betrayal called true love? Is 2 years of deceit called true love? Daisy's face went pale. You know everything. I know more than you imagine. I took a few photos and placed them on the table. This is your true love. Daisy's body began to shake when she saw the pictures. Isabella, I can explain. No need to explain. I understand everything. Then can you forgive me? I shook my head. Daisy, some mistakes cannot be forgiven, but we grew up together. Precisely why your betrayal is even more despicable. If a stranger stole my husband, I might still understand, but you are not a stranger. You were my most trusted friend. Daisy finally lost control and cried. I'm sorry, Isabella, I was wrong. Does saying sorry now help? What do you want me to do? Simple, leave him. Daisy looked up, a flicker of struggle in her eyes. I can't. Why? Because I love him. Then don't blame me for being ruthless. I stood up, ready to leave. Isabella, wait. Daisy grabbed my hand. Do you have anything else to say? Please, don't tell the media about our personal history. Okay. I pulled my hand away. That's not up to you. I'm begging you. I can give you money. Daisy, Do you think I lack money? I looked at her one last time. Figure things out for yourself. Walking out of the cafe, I felt a sense of relief. Some friendships were destined to end in betrayal. Some people were destined to show their true colors when money was involved. In the courtroom, I wore a black suit and sat in the plaintiff's seat. Across from me were William and his legal team. Daisy was also there, sitting in the spectator area. She looked nervous, glancing at William frequently. Court is now in session. The judge hammered the gavel. Mr. Thompson stood up and began stating my claims. Your Honor, my client, Ms. Isabella, requests a divorce from the defendant, Mr. William, and demands the return of joint marital assets transferred during the marriage. Furthermore, we have evidence proving the defendant engaged in adultery during the marriage. Mr. Thompson presented all the evidence: photos, audio recordings, bank transfer statements, property deeds. Every piece pointed to one fact: William betrayed the marriage. William's lawyer, Mr. Williams, stood to rebut. Your Honor, my client admits to the breakdown of the marriage and agrees to the divorce. However, we deny the allegations of asset transfer. Those properties and stocks were personal investments made by the defendant. Moreover, we have reason to believe that the plaintiff hired a private detective to track the defendant, which constitutes an invasion of privacy. A fierce debate ensued in the courtroom. I sat quietly, watching the lawyers exchange verbal blows. In this moment, I thought of our wedding 3 years ago. William promised to love me for a lifetime. Now, he sat in the defendant's chair, fighting me over a mistress. The human heart is truly fickle. Will the plaintiff please take the stand? The judge said. I stood up and walked to the witness box. Your Honor, I only wish to say a few words. 3 years ago, I believed I had found the person I would spend my life with. I loved him wholeheartedly, trusted him, and gave him the best years of my life. But he betrayed me and betrayed our marriage. I am not a greedy woman. I am not seeking his money. I seek justice and accountability. I want to tell all women that in the face of betrayal, we cannot remain silent. We must bravely step forward and protect our rights. My words resonated in the courtroom. Some spectators wiped away tears. The judge nodded, signaling me to sit down. Will the defendant please take the stand? William stood up, looking exhausted. Your Honor, I admit that our marriage failed. I also admit that I fell in love with someone else during the marriage. But I never intended to hurt Isabella. I am willing to compensate her. I hope we can part with dignity. Dignity. Even now, he was still thinking about dignity. Mr. Thompson continued to present evidence. Your Honor, this is evidence of the defendant's asset transfers. 3 properties valued at $20 million, stock investments valued at $5 million, and multiple large transfers totaling $8 million. All of these occurred during the period of the defendant's affair, clearly indicating the transfer of joint marital property. Mr. Williams tried to rebut. These investments were normal business activities, but they were all done in Daisy's name. Mr. Thompson countered. That is just a coincidence. What kind of coincidence? The defendant falls in love with someone else and then transfers all assets into that person's name. Is that what you call a coincidence? Mr. Williams was rendered speechless. The judge announced a recess, reserving the final judgment for a later date. Walking out of the courtroom, I felt an unprecedented lightness. Everything that needed to be said had been said. Everything that needed to be done had been done. I no longer cared much about the outcome. At least, I had fought for myself. William chased after me. Isabella, are you satisfied? Not yet, I said coldly. What else do you want? We'll talk after the verdict. Are you truly going to destroy both of us? You destroyed me first. I turned and walked away, not looking back. Behind me, I heard Daisy's sobs, but I felt no pity. Some prices must be paid. Some lessons must be learned. A week later, the court delivered its judgment. I won the case. William was ordered to return all transferred assets and pay damages for emotional distress. In that moment, I finally smiled. This was the first time I had fought for myself, and the first time I had won. From now on, I would be a completely new Isabella. A Isabella who would not be bullied by anyone. The news of the victory quickly spread. The media swarmed me, eager for an interview. This time, I didn't refuse. I wanted to tell everyone how a woman should save herself in the face of betrayal. Ms. Chen, what are your thoughts on this victory? A reporter held a microphone in front of me. I feel deeply gratified. Justice has finally been served. Do you still hold resentment toward William and Daisy? Resentment? No, I no longer hate them, because they have received the punishment they deserved. Do you have anything to say to those who betray their marriages? I looked into the camera and said seriously, the cost of betrayal is heavy. Don't think you can get away with it. The truth always comes out. To the women who have experienced betrayal, I want to say, don't be silent, don't tolerate it, use the law to protect your rights. We are not weak, we have the ability to fight back. After the interview, I received messages of support from many female friends. They said I was brave and that I had given them strength. This made me feel that the fight was worthwhile, not just for myself, but for all betrayed women. A few days later, I heard that William's company was facing a crisis. Several key partners had terminated their collaborations with him. Daisy was also fired from her workplace. They were tasting the bitter fruit of betrayal, but I didn't feel happy, because I no longer cared about them. My life had started anew. I redecorated the house, cleaning out everything related to William. I began learning new skills and cultivating new hobbies. I even planned trips abroad to see the world. Life was full of new possibilities. One evening, I was watching the stars on my balcony. My phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. "Hello, Isabella, it's me." It was Daisy's voice. "Do you need something? I want to see you one last time." "There's no need, please, just this once." I hesitated. "Fine, tomorrow afternoon, same coffee shop." The next day, I arrived as agreed. Daisy was already waiting for me. She looked much more haggard, with dark circles under her eyes and a pale face. "What do you want to say?" I got straight to the point. "Isabella, I'm leaving." "Where are you going?" "Abroad. William has abandoned me." I was somewhat surprised. "Why?" "He said I brought him too much trouble." Daisy said with a bitter smile. "His company is almost bankrupt now. He can't look after me. So you came to apologize to me." "Not an apology." Daisy shook her head. "I wanted to tell you something." "What is it?" "Actually, I was the one who initially approached William." "What do you mean?" "I was jealous of you." Daisy looked at me, her eyes filled with pain. "Since childhood, you were better than me in everything. Better family, better looks, better grades. Everyone liked you, and I was just your shadow, so you had to steal my husband." "I wanted to prove that I could have everything you possessed." Daisy's confession shocked me. It turned out her betrayal wasn't motivated by love, but by jealousy. "Are you satisfied now?" I asked. "No." Daisy shook her head. "I lost everything. My job, my reputation, my love, and our friendship. Those were all your choices." "I know. Then why did you come to tell me all this?" "I wanted you to know that William didn't actively betray you. I was the one who seduced him. If you must hate, hate only me." I looked at her, my emotions complex. "Daisy, do you think by saying that, I will forgive you?" "No. I just wanted you to know the truth." I already knew the truth, regardless of who initiated it. Betrayal is betrayal. William and you are both guilty. Daisy nodded. "You're right. I'm leaving now. I won't bother you again." With that, she stood up and walked toward the door. As she reached the exit, she looked back once more. "Isabella, I'm sorry." This time, her apology seemed sincere, but it was too late. Some harms are irreversible. I watched her figure disappear through the doorway. This was likely the last time we would ever meet. My once best friend was now a stranger, but I had no regrets, because I had maintained my boundaries and protected my dignity. 3 months later, my life was completely back on track. The company's business was thriving, and I had new personal developments. I invested in several emerging industries, generating considerable returns. More importantly, I found confidence and happiness again. One day, during a company meeting, Jane knocked and entered. "Ms. Chen, a gentleman downstairs is asking to see you." "Who is it?" "He says his last name is Evans, and he's a college classmate of yours." "Evans?" I thought for a moment. It must be Lucas Evans, our class president in college. A very excellent man. "Please send him up." A few minutes later, Lucas appeared in my office. He was still handsome, but with added mature charm. "Isabella, long time no see." "Lucas, what brings you here?" "I was here on a business trip and heard about what happened to you. I wanted to see how you were doing." I invited him to sit down and poured him tea. "Where are you working now?" "Shanghai. I started my own technology company." "Congratulations." "Isabella, are you truly well?" Lucas asked sincerely. "I am great. Never been better." Really. Going through those things has actually made me stronger." Lucas nodded. "I always thought you were a special kind of girl." "Special how?" "Brave. You dared to fight for yourself. That's rare. Most women in that situation would just suffer in silence. But you chose to fight back." "Maybe." I smiled. "I just wasn't willing to be bullied." "That is courage." We talked for a long time. Lucas shared his experiences over the years, the hardships of starting a business, the joy of success, and the emptiness in his emotional life. "You haven't married yet?" I asked curiously. "I haven't met the right person." What kind of person is the right person? Someone like you. Lucas looked at me, his eyes holding a familiar tenderness. Lucas, Isabella, can I pursue you? His sudden confession caught me off guard. I know you just went through a difficult marriage. I can wait until you're ready, but I hope you'll give me a chance. I looked into his sincere eyes, and a warm feeling surged inside me. Why me? Because I've liked you since college. Then why didn't you say so sooner? I didn't think I was good enough for you back then. And now, I think I can at least try. I was silent for a moment. After William's betrayal, I had become cautious about relationships, but Lucas was different. He was an upright man, trustworthy. All right, I said, we can try. A brilliant smile spread across Lucas' face. Really, but I have one condition. What is it? Take it slow. I need time. Of course, I have endless patience. In that moment, I felt a long-forgotten excitement. Perhaps my spring had truly arrived. 6 months later, Lucas and I officially started dating. He was very good to me, gentle and thoughtful, never letting me suffer any grievance. More importantly, he respected me and supported my career. This was something William had never given me. One day, we were walking on the beach. Isabella, do you ever regret it? Lucas asked. Regret what? The marriage with William. I thought about it. No regrets. Why? If I hadn't gone through that experience, I wouldn't have become this strong, and I wouldn't appreciate the happiness I have now. Lucas stopped, looking at me with deep affection. Isabella, I will spend my life protecting you. I believe you.